rocking with the voice of Townview. We put our spin on trending topics and school news. Thought-provoking, insightful, we speak the truth. We do it for all ages, not just for the youth. Listen close, you might learn something. Or laugh so hard, you split your side of something. Live stream a podcast. Whenever you tune in, it's sure to be a blast. Let's be honest, you don't want to miss that. Content so real, you gonna want to run it back. We keep you entertained while making an impact. Want foreign announcements? Well, this is not that. Sports, pop, culture, political. Whatever you like, we got you covered, bro. It's a movement more than just a show. It's KSBM Radio.
Thank you for listening to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
My radio station.
We hope you enjoyed the great content and great discussion, all from a student's perspective. Make sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest updates at KSBM_TVT or on Facebook at KSBM Radio.
Add them on Facebook.
Check them on Facebook.
Take care.
Hello and welcome everyone to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview. I'm Dante.
I'm Art Lover.
I'm Cammie.
I'm Jewy.
And today we're joined by a very special guest, Miss Goodson. Miss Goodson, it is such a pleasure to have you here with us today. Miss Goodson, to start off, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Hey everybody. Thank y'all for inviting me out to the podcast. I'm from Dallas, Texas. And yeah. I'm from Dallas, Texas, so I want to wait until we get into the questions to pretty much say a little bit more about myself. But I am a Dallas, Texas native. I am a DISD product. I went to DISD from kindergarten all the way up to my 12th grade year in high school. So, yeah.
Awesome. Do you mind telling us about some of your fondest memories at Wilmer Hutchins High School?
So, I went there my complete 4 years. And before I got an opportunity to go to Wilmer Hutchins, I went to E.B. Comstock Middle School, which is in Pleasant Grove, Texas. And at the time, the principal there was going to Hutch. And I don't know how my mom found out that he was going to Hutch, but she did. And I ended up following him there. And I can honestly say, if I didn't go to Hutch, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. Mm-hmm. I had an opportunity to be a part of the marching music machine, which is the marching band there, Wilmer Hutchins High School. And my band director, you talk about like a sponge or a cup, he continuously poured into me, even when I didn't present or, show up for my best self. He still seen everything in me to pour. I mean, he poured from my freshman year to my senior year. It's crazy to sit and think about it, but Hutch really helped me a lot. I didn't really know nothing about college. We went to football games. I didn't know nothing about schools like Jackson State and Southern University and Texas Southern University. I really didn't know much about Prairie View A&M University until I got into high school. And we were going to the Battle of the Bands, and it was just like, hey, the winner of this goes and perform at the Prairie View and Gremlin game. I'm like, what is that? The State Fair Classic had been coming to Dallas all these years, and I never knew until I went to Hutch. And like I said, my band director, he's like my number one person that poured into me in high school. Forever grateful for him. His name is Carlton D. Cooper. He's still at Hutch now, still shaping lives now. So, yeah.
What inspired you to become the head drum major for the marching music machine during your high school years? Well,
when I first went to Hutch, my freshman year, the school had just opened up. It used to be another school district before DISD bought the property. And the band program was just starting, so we didn't have any drum majors. Like, if you go into Hutch Band Hall, you'll see a picture of us in like a royal blue t-shirt, black boots, black shorts, and that's just the foundation of the marching music machine. And we had drum major tryouts. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just see. And I had an opportunity to make the squad. I was on that squad from my sophomore year all the way to my senior year, but I had got demoted my junior year, going into my senior year, so just basically being cocky. Like, I don't have to do this, or I've already been doing this, so I didn't feel like I didn't need to do what the other candidates was doing, because it's just like, I've already shown you my work ethic. You already know what it is that I can bring to the table. But it wasn't about that. It was the principle of the fact that everybody be fair across the board, and I didn't think about it like that. But Mr. Cooper, he demoted me, and it was one of the most humbling experiences ever. Because I was trying to figure out, like, dang, I did all this work. Why would you demote me? But he wanted to show me it was the principle. He wanted to let me know that even though I had been a head drum major for all those years, I was never bigger than a band. So that was a great experience, and I was able to get my position back. In my senior year, I had to challenge for my spot back, but I was able to get it back. And it was different. It was different in the beginning, but one of the most humbling experiences. So I say to any student that's watching, or to you guys, don't ever feel like you're bigger than anything, regardless of how much you contribute to it. Remember, everybody can be replaced. No matter what you bring to the table, somebody is there to replace you at all times.
So we know that you were an executive board member for the student council, and that must have been like a really big responsibility. Can you share some of your memorable experiences from that role?
I can't remember too much about student council. To be honest, student council then wasn't as big as it is now, if that makes sense. We did what we needed to do. Okay, y'all need us to do this. Okay. But we didn't really, I can honestly say we didn't really go full throttle with that. And we should have, because now how I see student council now is crazy in high school. Like, just from doing the senior council, elections, everybody was tuned in, and the posters and the campaigning. We wasn't doing that when I was in high school. We wasn't really interested like that. We just did what we were supposed to do, and that was it. So it wasn't kind of like memorable. It was just something, I guess, to basically put on the resume.
I want to bring it back to how you said your mom knew that your principal was going to Wilmer Hutch.
Yes.
Is there a reason, like, why y'all were following him, or like he was a good role model?
I'm not sure why my mom was following him, but I can say from my middle school years, he was fair. And even in my high school years, he's definitely a fair he was a fair principal. Like right now, he's no longer a principal no more. The last school that he was a principal at was LG Pinkston High School. Now he's still in the district now, but he's an executive director for security.
Oh, wow.
So, and that just says a lot about him as a person, his character. Mr. Brooks is definitely a one-of-a-kind individual, and his leadership was really great. So I can see why my mom wanted me to follow where he was going, because I think it matters to some parents about administration. We want to know who's in charge of the teachers and who's in charge of our babies being in school every day. And it's always good to make sure you have a principal that cares. And one thing I can say about Mr. Brooks, he really cared.
So we know that you were a varsity soccer player for the Lady Eagles. How did that impact your personal and leadership development?
Not so much. And I did it because, band was dormant at the time. So it's like, okay, well, I got to do something. And I actually played soccer with one of my friends at the time. And we was just out there playing y'all to play, just to have fun. And we ended up getting a letterman out of it. So we was like, okay, I guess it wasn't too bad for us to play. You can't pay me to play soccer now, though. You can't pay me to play now. But I enjoyed it in high school. Getting an opportunity to see what it was like to play with other people or just be with other people outside of the band, because I spent most of my time with the kids in the band. So it was just a different world being out there with them, being able to play soccer.
Did you face any challenges while playing soccer or being a part of the team?
Yes, I got band practice, but I got soccer practice too. So I'm trying to rush out of band practice to rush across to the field, because we have a field at our school. So I'm running up this big old ramp trying to get into soccer practice. And same thing for my friend that played soccer for me. She was a member of the Bluebells, which is our drill team at Hutch. And we be running together trying to get to soccer practice. But yeah, our coach's name was Coach Harp. He was funny. He was really funny. Yeah, he was very competitive, but it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Were there any like teachers or mentors who like influenced your career path?
Yeah, Yes, I would say yes. I wouldn't say not in high school. I say more so on the collegiate side. One of my mentors, really good person, and her name is Nina Wright. I met her at Prairie View A&M University, and I met her because my organization had stepped in to help finish a step show that we needed to have for the freshmen on campus at the time. And I had always seen her, but, everybody like, oh, she's mean, she's mean. And she really was one of the sweetest person that I had ever met, one of the sweetest people I had ever met. And she poured into me, just like Mr. Cooper. She was one of the first people to ever ask me, is Ariel happy? Nobody had never asked me that. She had asked me that, and that one thing just kind of started our relationship. She showed me what it meant to be on the outside of Hobart Taylor, which is where the band practices at and where the band room is at Prairie View. She really helped me find out what my true passion was in education. I didn't know anything about student affairs, which is a division at school and college. I didn't know nothing about student affairs, but I had an issue going on with my family. And she said, hey, do you know the dean of students? And I was like, who is that? And she was like, well, it's Mr. Ransom. And I was like, okay. And she walked me over to Mr. Ransom, y'all, and she sat with me while I told Mr. Ransom my issues. And any problem that I've ever had, it became her problem to find a solution. And when you need people like that, and she helped me see a different side of education than somebody just teaching me and they giving me a grade. Like, she walked step by step with me. When I was low and I was feeling down, when my mental health got to be a little shaky, she was always there. She's always been there. So I want to always give kudos to Nina Wright. She definitely, she's a wonderful kind person. I will say that.
Can you tell us a little bit about your participation in the marching storm at Prairie View A&M?
Man, the marching storm is humongous, and they're going to be here next Friday. So if y'all haven't checked them out, please check them out. The marching storm gave Ariel her identity.
Yeah, because whenever they perform at the Fall Fling, it gives me chills because they're so loud and you can just hear them from across the street, and that's crazy.
Yes. The director of bands, Dr. Zachary, just like Miss Wright, just like Mr. Cooper, he poured. He was always there for me. Always. The marching storm is the reason why I'm probably also able to be you guys' teacher as well. Like, the experiences that I had there, traveling, you come back home on Sunday, you might gotta leave again Wednesday. Crazy long nights on that bus. Oh my God. Imagine going to Atlanta on a charter bus with like 400 people.
Dang.
It ain't 400 people on one bus, but it's 400 people moving at one time. That's a lot. Leadership skills, definitely something that I was able to gain from the Marching Storm, and just experience being able to travel the world. We traveled to New York, and we was staying on the water. We traveled for free. We performed in a Macy Thanksgiving parade. It was so cold, but the experience was so good. Just different. Like, I encourage anybody, any student, that if you like music, if you want to play an instrument, please get into band. Band will pay for your school quicker than any sport. Band is something that I think builds character. It helps you understand who you are, and it pushes you to your limits. Like I said, we come home on Sunday. We leave it again on Wednesday. And you gotta be able to be in the band, go to practice, do everything you need to do, be a human, and then on top of being a human, you got to be able to maintain the GPA to continue to receive your scholarship. That's a lot in college. That is a lot, and especially if you're involved in other things. The Marching Storm is a phenomenal organization. I recommend any student that wants to be a part, get in touch with Dr. Zachary. I promise you, he ain't gonna turn you down. He'll pour into you, and and build you up as a student. And I said something to him one time. I said, I don't know, I said, thank you for my scholarship or thank you for something. And, you know, he said, I don't look at it like that. I look at it as an opportunity to help you go to school, you know. And some people don't look at it like that. Oh, I'm giving you a scholarship. I want you to do this, 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 and this. And don't get me wrong, he's very firm. He's a very firm guy. But at the end of the day, he wanted us to know that he cared about our future. It didn't just stop with the marching storm. He cared about our outside lives and who we were as people and things like that.
Do you have a favorite memory of being a part of the marching storm?
My favorite memory of the marching storm is when I watched my first Cotton Bowl class. Was my first State Fair Classic, and because I'm from Dallas, and my family not traveling to see me, y'all, so they gonna come to Dallas. I'll see you when you get to Dallas. It was good, and it was just a different type of time. My grandmother don't really get to come out to my performances like that, so it was good to know that my grandmother was there. I didn't see her, but I know she was there. And if you know me, my grandmother is a huge part of my life, so just to get an opportunity for her to see me out there and see what she has done over the years that has led me to that moment, I think that was just beautiful for me, for her to be there. I didn't see her though, but I know she was there.
Well, I usually ask this a lot, but do you have like any quote that stuck into you, and like, can you tell us the meaning about it?
My favorite quote right now is, "It's not on you, it's in you." And what I mean by it's not on you, you know, people say, "Well, I'm the senior class president, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm this and I'm that." You know, it don't really matter about what's on you, what's in you. Like, who are you within? Especially for people like me who deal with imposter syndrome a lot, I would go accomplish something big and I still would think that it's the smallest thing. But I try to tell my students, like my freshman students, like, it's not on you, it's in you. Like, whatever you want to do is already in you. And if it's equipped for you to do it, you will be able to do it. So that's something that I'm learning to stick by. And also, forward is forward, right? We get so caught up about where we want to be and where we're going. We don't even celebrate where we are now to make sure we're tracking the progress. Like, if you took 2 steps today, okay, tomorrow you take 2 more steps, and then the next day you only take 1 step. Just because you didn't take 2 steps don't mean that it's not vital. You still move forward. So forward is forward.
So regarding your academic side for college, you earned 2 BBA degrees in management and accounting. Can you tell us about your academic journey and how these degrees shaped your career?
I didn't think I was going to ever graduate, okay? I didn't think I was going to ever graduate from college. And I didn't think I was going to ever graduate because it seemed like every time I got to the end, it was always another class. Oh, but you need this class. But I thought I already took all the classes I needed. So the business department at Prairie View, they care about you. The dean cared about me. The assistant dean cared about me. So we kept pushing together. And that shaped my experience. Getting those business degrees shaped my experience with my collegiate career and within my personal career, just to keep moving forward. Even when you can't see the finish line, you know it's somewhere near. So just keep pushing forward because eventually you'll make it there.
How was your experience? Like, how do I reword it? Because you say you kept getting like extra classes towards the end. Was like you had any conflicts like bringing you down?
Yeah.
And then you had that one person that.
I wanted to go home. I wanted to go home, and I wanted to work. Just work, but I had to finish my classes in the summertime. But that class was in person, every single day in person. That was horrible, and it was a business stats class. The teacher, all the kids like, no, I don't take Dr. Hussein. He's scary, but he was a really good teacher. He really made me believe in math. He made me understand, like, okay, you really be in your head about math. You really can do it. So I think that was a good experience, and just all the other experiences that I had to be able to go to different career fairs and travel with the School of Business. I think it's always good for me to have that experience because I didn't really know at the time. Because I was in the marching storm, I didn't have an internship because my summers was gone because I had band camp. So I didn't do any internships in college. So I didn't find out until it got time for me to go work in corporate that I don't like corporate. And that's how I end up being here with you guys, being in education. Yeah.
So we know that you were in a sorority. How did it influence you in the way that you interact with your coworkers and students now?
Having a team spirit, I think that's one of the main things. Being able to communicate with people and students and understand, like, everybody have something unique about them. Everybody have an idea. And if you bring all those ideas and things to the table, you can make something beautiful. I think being in sorority is a beautiful thing. It teaches you sisterhood. And in sisterhood, sometimes we won't always get along, right? But you're still my sister. I still care about you. I still care about what you're looking like for the next level. Or if you down, I want to be there for you. And I try to have that same type of mentality with the teachers and my students. Want to make sure that with the students now, because I teach majority freshmen, they're new, they're scared. This is a magnet school. Everybody know about Townview, but it's like, okay, how rigorous is this going to be? Can I handle this? And just try to create a team spirit. So when I go in my classroom, right when the bell ring, first thing I tell my kids, "What's up, gang?" And I tell them that just so they can know, like, we all in this together. You know, it's not just me being a teacher and them just being students. It's not that type of culture in my classroom. I want to be able to come in my classroom and say, hey, I'm feeling down about this. I have some students that just come stand in my doorway, and when I get there in the morning, hey, Miss G, hey, Miss G. And it's glad to see that it's something that I've been able to build over the last 6 weeks. And I'm really looking to go further than that with the freshmen. They just freshmen, so I got time.
So we will be going into our quick break, but we'll be back for our next part of the interview.
Yo, what's up, KSBM family? Currently enjoying the show? But don't leave us just yet. We'll be right back after this short break.
Well, we're back from our quick break. Miss Goodson, how did your 3-year higher education experience impact your teaching approach today?
Good question. Understanding that everybody comes from different places, deal with different things. Remember, I told you guys I didn't know nothing about student affairs until Ms. Wright introduced it to me. So now I'm understanding assessing different situations. You know, I just talked to Mr. Wade about this yesterday. We have the Dress for Success on Wednesdays. And I also seen a TikTok that kind of made me think different, you know. We put in our handbook that the students in the School of Business need to dress professionally on Wednesdays, but some kids just don't got it, right? And that's an issue that we would have to come together to fix. But however, I've seen a lot of that stuff in college, right, in student affairs. People leaving school and withdrawing from school and dropping out of college because they feel like they didn't have any support. They feel like I don't have the support I need, or if I just had a child, I don't have anywhere for my baby to go and me to still be able to have classes. In student affairs, there's somebody for every single thing you can think of. There's counseling. There's the dean of students who can help you out. There's caseworkers and case managers and stuff like that. Getting the opportunity to see how people kind of pretty much think that because they don't have nobody that can help them with their problem, they leave. And you want to try to retain as much students as you can on the college campus, right? If you retain them and they graduate, that just helps the graduation rate go up. But we can't retain them if we don't open up and let them know, like, hey, these services are available. So I think my main purpose in student affairs was having an opportunity to show the students, like, this is not the end, right? You still have people that can help you. And having the opportunity to work in the Greek life office, which is fraternity and sorority affairs, that was different, to be able to see every different sorority and every different fraternity. And I had been seeing it for years, but I never had the opportunity to work up close with these people. working up close with these people shows why people put so much passion into things, what their organization means to them. Because what my organization means to me, it might not mean the same thing to you, but you get to see people passion in those areas. And I think working in student affairs definitely has shaped me to understand, like, okay, my calling is in education. My calling is in education. So now that I know for a fact that my calling is in education, what part of education? Before I became a teacher, I applied at the University of Texas at Arlington to work in their student affairs office and the Greek life office. I had got my first interview and it went really well. I had got my second interview and it went really well. And then I just didn't get the call back. And I was crushed. Because it's like, dang, I've been doing this for all these years. Like, what's the problem? What's wrong? But that wasn't for me. Because if it was for me, then I wouldn't be here with y'all. Mm-hmm. So it really wasn't for me. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to just try to apply to be a teacher. And I applied. And I applied on a Thursday night. On a Friday morning, the school had called me back. Like, hey, we want to interview you. And I went for my interview. The interview went well, and I was walking back to my car, and they called me right before I got in my car. I was like, hey, we're going to go ahead and give you the job. I was like, okay, well, can I come back and see my classroom? And they was like, yeah. And I went back and seen my classroom, and I stayed with that school to the end of the school year. And then Mr. Pouncey hired me to come on to here. And I'm here with you guys. But if I hadn't gotten to student affairs and started working in education, I probably wouldn't be here now. And if UGA would have hired me, I wouldn't have been here right now.
What all motivated you during your time in college to pursue Master of Education in Educational Leadership?
So I've always been a leader in whatever it is that I'm involved in, always. For me, it's like a no-brainer. Are you gonna go and get your master's? Yeah, because it's just like once we start getting bachelor's degrees, then they start requiring that we get masters. Mm-hmm. Now people are getting masters, and then you got to have a doctoral degree with like a whole bunch of years of experience. I didn't want to limit myself to education, to just getting a bachelor's. I didn't want to limit myself in that area. I'm the Beyonce of my family, so it's like I'm the person that set the standard. So I want to make sure that for all the kids that's coming up under me or everybody getting ready to have up under me, that they see that, hey, it's possible. Me, African American, from Pleasant Grove, Texas, was able to go to a school and attain 2 bachelors. That's cool, but a master's and a doctoral degree has to come next for the simple point of the fact that society is changing. We seeing a lot of things change right before our eyes, and some of the things that we want to do, we can't do those things unless we have more than a bachelor. So I think educational leadership is something that I'm really passionate about, and if anybody knows me professionally, they know what I'm working on. I'm trying to get to the next level, but I need to also say, too, in the midst of me trying to get to my next level, Godspeed, because I'm trying to rush everything, and if I rush it, it won't be right. So I want to take my hands off of it and just literally say Godspeed. Do what I can and shape what I can and make the connections and communicate with the right people and get a good mentor. But when it's time, I know it's time.
What specifically inspired you to become an educator, and how have the experiences in Dallas ISD influenced your teaching methods?
I said what inspired me to be an educator is just seeing my high school band director, Carter Cooper, Nina Wright, Dr. Zachary. They were some fearless educators. They give it their all, 110% every time, and just to see what they did for me, right? So if somebody did that for you, you want to get the same thing back. You want to pay it forward. I'm looking at it as if I could just save one kid, I feel like my job is done. If I could just save one student, that's really my motto. I want to just save one kid. If a kid thinking that they don't want to go to school, if I can help them figure out some school stuff, or if a kid feeling low and feeling like they need help or don't know where to go, hey, we have this available, we have that available. I didn't have that when I was in high school. I had Mr. Cooper, but he wasn't so invested into our personal lives. But now, the students that's in school now, y'all are really in tune with y'all feelings. Y'all can tell you exactly, Miss Goodson, you hurt my feelings because you screamed at me. We wasn't saying that when I was in school. If we got screamed at in school, we just say, okay. And that was it. And we're not living in those days and time no more. So, yeah.
How was your, I don't know if it was like nervous for you for like your first year teaching. Like how was your path, or like what was your experiences as like your first year being a teacher?
I'm still in my first year.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. What? I am scared. And I'm scared because I don't want to make a mistake, right? But if you don't make mistakes, you can't never get it right. So I'm scared because I'm trying to see what level are these students on and what level am I on? What level am I on to be able to teach these students? And just being scared and understanding like, okay, it's new. It's not familiar for me. I'm coming here every day, dressing up, and the kids, y'all students, oh, what are those? Or, what do you have on? One kid told me before I had on some church shoes. I enjoy wearing cold hunts, but a kid told me I had on church shoes, but I'm scared. But not in the midst of me being scared, I'm open to learn. One thing I do tell people when I come in contact with them, like Mrs. West and Miss Sanders and Mr. Wade, I tell them, hey, just fill my cup up, because I don't know everything. I don't have it figured out. But to just be honest, I'm scared.
Mm-hmm. Have you faced any struggles so far during your first 6 weeks of teaching as a teacher?
Well, this is not my first 6 weeks, but this is my first 6 weeks here.
Oh,
okay, but I can talk about my first 6 weeks here. It's different from where I come from. Mm-hmm. I first worked at Woodrow Wilson High School. It's different here, mm-hmm. right? The kids here, they applied to be here. They want to be here. At Woodrow Wilson, when the bell ring, I'm used to the hallway still being full. The bell ring here, it's nobody in the hallway. It's nobody in the hallway. So I'm learning now to change my approach, right? Change my approach because how I had to say, hey, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down a lot at Woodrow, I don't have to do that here. I say sit down, they sit down. I say eyes to the front, everybody looking at me. Like, it's just a different type of atmosphere, and I love it. But when before I started working at Woodrow, somebody asked me, if you ever left Woodrow, where would you go? And I said, I will only leave Woodrow to go to Townview. I didn't know 5 months down the line it was going to be an opportunity for me to go to Townview. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. So I'll say that to say if you're trying to manifest something and you want to go to the next level and you really trying to learn, manifest what you want. And I only had said that I will only leave Woodrow to go to Townview because I knew that Townview had some of the best teachers in the district. So it's like, okay, if I could get to Townview, I'm going to have a mentor. These people have been here for a while. They could help me out. I can learn some things. Versus at Woodrow, you think I'm scared now? I was really scared because I had walked into a school year where I wasn't the students' teachers first. I had came in at the back end of the school year. So it was different. They already had made their mind up that they had classroom norms. So I couldn't go in there and start from scratch. So basically, this school year is my first batch of regular kids, or them actually being my kids. So, yeah. Yes.
Have you faced any challenges so far with being here?
The traffic. The morning and the afternoon traffic, one thing I can say about Townview, and I'm not saying that because I work here, when I first got here for our very first day back to work, everybody had open arms for me. Everybody. I mean, hey, we heard that you were coming. Of course, I'm the newest teacher at the school. We knew that you're coming. Mr. Pouncey told us a lot about you. Mr. Pouncey said that he liked you. You know, it was open arms, and I had an opportunity to already work with Mrs. West when I had worked at Seagoville High School. So when I had found out that Miss West would be the new principal here, it's like, oh, okay. I've already worked with her before. So that kind of eased some of the things that I felt. But as far as challenges, I got to say the traffic. Why do we get out of school at 4:30 and I make it to my car at 4:32 and I'm still in the parking lot at 4:50? So just understanding that there's a lot of students go here, and it seems like a lot of parents are coming to pick their kids up, but traffic is starting to get a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, as the academic decathlon coach, what are some most rewarding moments that you've had with your students, and are there any challenges that you faced?
Right now, the most rewarding thing I can say right now, because I haven't had an opportunity to compete with these kids yet, but just to see how hungry they are. Y'all should see them walking around with their 3-inch binder with all the material in it. They're like, hey, Ms. G, can I drop this binder off in your class? I'm like, yeah, come on. They find out ways to do Kahoot so we can all learn. And I'm learning with them, right? This is my first year being an academic decathlon coach. It's different. It's different, and when I go to the coaches' meetings, they all pumped up, and I'm telling my kids, like, they pumped up. We got to be pumped up, too. So right now we're preparing for our first invitational meet, which is on October the 28th in Rockwall, Texas. We're excited. We're ready. I can say that these are some different type of kids. I had a kid ask me right before I was coming in for the interview, hey, how can I get an academic decathlon? And that's always good to hear that kids want to be in academic clubs. You know, I encourage all the kids to join the band, but also join a academic club as well, because that's going to take you far.
So we know that you're the senior sponsor for the school right now. Can you tell us what all you enjoy about having that role so far?
Being able to see what it is that you guys want, because y'all are seniors. It's crazy. I will say it's a little crazy. Everybody have their own personality, and everybody have a million ideas, but we have to make sure that we're choosing the things that everybody want, or pretty much majority of things that everybody want. I think the most exciting thing about it is now we've got our senior class council in place, and I meet with them now every Wednesday at 8, so they started my day off. And I tell you, when we sit in my room, we're laughing, we're going back and forth, and we're making sure that we create an atmosphere that is going to be enjoyable, not just for us, but for everybody. And stepping up into that leadership role as being the senior sponsor, that's scary, because now I have to make sure that you guys have a memorable senior year, but also letting you guys take charge and too, making sure that you have a memorable year. And as well, helping y'all when y'all come. Some kids don't know. You know, some kids don't really know. Like, I don't know what's next for me, Miss G. I really don't. So, okay, let's figure that out. And I feel like Mr. Wade helps me with these things. He helps me with the seniors. And one thing I can say about Mr. Wade, he has big expectations for the seniors, and especially his kids that he have for co-op. And I have a couple co-op students on the senior class council. And although they're in co-op, they're still committed to making sure that you guys have the best senior year possible.
Could we get like any sneak peeks on what's gonna happen for the seniors?
So next Friday, we're gonna have our senior sunrise on the 29th at 6:30 a.m. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna have some breakfast. We're gonna have some music. We're gonna have fun. That's different, and that's gonna be beautiful, because if you don't know about Townview, for anybody that's watching, we have the skyline, the Dallas skyline. We can see it, and I think that's gonna be beautiful for us to be out there and just talk to each other and let the balloons go with a senior message. it's going to be different. I know me and Mrs. West is excited about it. She's really excited about it. I was texting her last night, and we was talking about some ideas, and she definitely was just like, ooh, I like that. So, and the parents, I have some parents being involved with the senior stuff, and they excited, right? Because it's their baby's last year, and they're like, yeah, we want them to have a good time. It's good, and it's different. It's different, and I do think that the senior sunrise is going to be good. And we have decorate your parking spot coming up. Yes, look at y'all like, oh,
What?
yeah, we're going to have some decorate your parking spot, and we're working on the volleyball and basketball tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at them. Oh, yeah. They're working on that. And then last thing that I really want us to really focus in on is the breast cancer run around the school. So we're working on that as well. We're going to have a pink out day. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be lit. It's going to be litty. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty good.
Do you have any more goals moving on and forward into the school year?
Just grow. Give myself grace and really get an opportunity to build bonds with as much students as I can. Like I said, I have a senior class, 1st and 5th period, my practicum class, and they're growing on me. But y'all are seniors too, and I don't really get a chance to see y'all a lot unless I come see Miss Shipman. So try to grow as much bonds as I can with the students. That's vital. That's very vital in the student's life. So that's my number one goal. And we're trying to go out with a bang.
So you mentioned that you connect with the parents, that you want the seniors and just everyone in general to have a good school year. But how would you say you connect with the parents? Is there any moments that you've had?
Yeah, so some of the senior parents are my sorors. Some of them are members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So we connect in that area. And they're like, oh, you a soror? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah. So, and we kind of pretty much connected in that way. So when I text them, it's not more so like hey, we trying to get some stuff done for senior stuff, because we also text on the outside of school, right? So a lot of them have been able to be helpful in that way. And if you know anything about Deltas, we're extra. We're extra in our own little way. And they willing to help. And one thing I can say, they really are invested in their kids' future. They really are. They want to know what they're doing. The senior class president, Lewis Rainey, his mom, Miss Tracy Rainey, she's texting me at least once a week, hey, what's going on? Y'all need some help. And that's really good to see that you have not just the student support, but the parent support too. Because we can't do everything by ourselves, right? Parent support is vital. It's vital in the school. Very vital. So, as well, matter of fact, I hope anybody watching, please join the PTA. We need you.
Before we go to a quick break, I have one last question.
Okay.
I want to bring it back when you mentioned for the events for the seniors, the volleyball and basketball. Can you give us like a date that it might come on? Or like,
yeah, no.
Well, that was worth a try. We'll come back to a short break.
Yo, what's up, KSBM family? Currently enjoying the show? But don't leave us just yet. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey guys, welcome back from our short break. We're going to continue this interview. Can you share some insights into the business and finance services courses you teach in the CTE program of study?
Yes. I teach principles of business, marketing, and finance, and it's like a freshman course. It's really tailored for freshmen. You just basically teaching them the fundamentals of business, marketing, and finance. I enjoy that class because kids get an opportunity to kind of see when they're freshman year, okay, do I want to do business? Do I like marketing? Do I like finance? And I think it's really good to see how they think, right? Just a week ago, I had my students present. I had them all to create a business, and they had a group. And I had told them at the end, like, okay, what this is your business for the school year, and these are your business partners. And they're like, oh, what? And I'm like, yeah, these are people that y'all chose. And sometimes in a business, we don't always choose good business partners. So I wanted them to get an opportunity to see early on. So we're in the part of just the principles of business right now. Next level, we're going to be taking on marketing. And I'm going to need y'all to help my babies with the social media marketing. So I think that's a really good class. And I'm teaching a practicum class in entrepreneurship right now. And those kids are different. They're all seniors, but they're different in a way because they have so many good ideas. And it's like, okay, we can't do everything, but what can we do? Right now we're working on starting SBM Pals, which is an organization that I'm looking to start, and which is just an organization that teach financial literacy to elementary school kids. Because we have the elementary school across the street, we're going to be going across the street and teaching them financial literacy. Yeah, that's what we're doing in my classroom.
How do you balance your teaching responsibilities while pursuing a master's degree?
It's hard. Before I came in here, me and Mr. Wade was talking about our grad school stuff. Y'all, grad school is hard. It's hard if you have a life on the outside of grad school. Grad school is hard, but it's worth it. It challenges you and it pushes you to the limits. So the best way that I can handle it is during my planning periods, I have to open up my personal laptop and do my schoolwork, do my discussion. I have to read an article on my iPad, making use of all the time that I have when I'm not having to teach is when I'm able to do my grad school work. As well, going back and reading everything and making sure I'm keeping up with the syllabus is challenging. I will say. Sometimes it means I have to sit down at the computer all day Sunday. Sometimes a Saturday is gone. Maybe a Friday night is gone because you got a big assignment that's due. I will say it's a bunch of dedication and hard work. Mm-hmm. It is. So if it's something that you thinking about you want to pursue, please make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. It's not going to be easy. It's not like, oh, okay, I can just submit this at the last minute. Not when you got to read 2 chapters. And education, and getting a master's education, there's a lot of reading, a lot of literature, a lot of article, and a lot of research. I have a research class right now.
So we know that you want to become an assistant principal or somewhere around that. What steps have you taken so far to plan on achieving that goal? Research.
I'm looking to go into the DISD Learn to Lead program, which is a program that they have for people who wants to be assistant principals. It's a program that you go through and you get your master's degree through them, and you basically get an opportunity to learn from people through the district. You learn from the school that you're going to. I'm just in the research phase. Remember, I said it's just my first year. Mm-hmm. I got to be teaching for 2 solid years before I can apply for that program. So I know you're like, oh, it don't take that long to get to 2 years. It don't, but I have to research and make sure I plan now, making sure that by the time I reach to year 2 and I start applying for that program, making sure I take a lot of stuff off my plate, mm-hmm. so I can have time for that, to give it my all.
So what's some advice that you wish that you had gotten as a high schooler, and what's some advice that you'd like to share to any other high schoolers listening?
Some advice that I wish I would have gotten in high school: seize every opportunity. I just was telling my students the other day, we was talking about internships. Remember I said I didn't have an internship in college. When I graduated on August 13th, and my corporate job started on August the 15th. Mm-hmm. It was that quick. If I would have had an internship, I would have known that I wasn't going to like corporate. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that because I didn't have an internship. So seize every opportunity. If the school is saying they got a career fair, if they saying that there's a company coming or a school coming and talk to you, go. Even if you don't fill out the paperwork or you don't apply for the school, there might be somebody there that you need to meet. Just seize every opportunity. Seize the moment. If you don't, you'll be looking back and say, dang, how many opportunities did I miss, right? Mm-hmm. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And you're not going to get everything and land everything, but you want to make sure you put your best foot forward. And you can't do that if you're not showing up. Show up for yourself. You have to show up for yourself. Nobody else going to show up for you. You show up for you. You put your best self out there every single day. You'd be surprised what you might get.
I noted, well, I want to say how you mentioned how some people in the school, like right when you walk in, they're already asking you about like your fit check or like funny stuff like that. Or do you have any like more funny memories or stories you could tell us, like as your first year here?
Yeah, just I have some kids, some freshmen in my class, and just yesterday I come in the classroom, hey Miss G, say what's up y'all, how y'all doing today? And they go, we doing good. Miss G, this girl sat by me on the bus, she really liked me. And I'm like, she like you? It's like, yeah, she could have sat anywhere on the bus, but she sat with me. And I'm just like, okay, that doesn't mean that she like you. But she got by me and she started talking. You know, those small things with the kids. And that class is always talking to me about girls. Oh, this girl, I seen her at lunch. Like, they really be crazy over the girls. I will say that. She like me, Miss G. She really do, because she sat by me. And it's good to see him. Like, he was missing for a couple of days in my class. So I had to call home to his mom, like, hey, where he at? And she was just like, oh, he's just here, he's not feeling too well, so he'll be back shortly. And I was like, okay. But those kids, and then I have another student. He come by and see me every day. He always been funny. Like, students will make you remember your why. I will say that. You got some kids that you kind of be like, oh my. But then you got those kids that, like, they take you to the next level, your energy low. They help your energy come up. I think my most fun memory every day is just seeing kids that I don't teach come see me. That's like, I don't even teach you, but you come in to check on me and see how my day go. I got some kids they're not even in SBM. They come see me, come give me a hug. I've been looking for you. Where you been? You ain't been in your classroom. Just to see those kids come and just being able to build that rapport with those students, that's different. That feels good, I will say.
Going back to how you say you do a lot of research and reading, is there anything you enjoy about that, or is it mostly like challenging?
I don't enjoy nothing about that. But what I do enjoy is understanding that it's more than one way, right? You think when you got something figured out, like, okay, I'm going to do it this way. And then you realize there's, like, so many other ways that you can do it. Like in the Learn to Lead program, when I have found out in my research, my number one school that I want to do in the Learn to Lead program is SMU, which is why I'm wearing their colors today. Oh. But it's not just SMU that offer. You got SMU, UNTD, Texas Tech, Texas A&M Commerce, right? And being able to look online and look at their educational leadership program. Mm-hmm. Okay, like, oh, well, the focus at Texas A&M Commerce is social justice. Like, no. But SMU stands out to me because there's a residency built in their degree plan as well. The focus is urban education and bilingual. Mm. As we know, we have a lot of students in our district that are bilingual or may not be able to speak any English at all, right? So you don't want to become an assistant principal or a principal and you can't be able to communicate with the kids. And also understanding in the urban educational aspect, this is a urban district. Dallas ISD is an urban district. So, okay, that's gearing you and showing you how to lead in a school district like Dallas ISD. So I think SMU definitely sticks out to me. SMU is rich for its tradition and rich for its education, especially its college for education. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm spending most of my time figuring out how much I can figure out about SMU. Matter of fact, I'm trying to go to the SMU and TCU game this weekend. Oh, yeah. So it's different, and when you research stuff, like I said, you realize it's more than one way. it's more than one way for something, and you start to kind of have some options.
If you were able to go back in time to your high school self, what would be like some advice you would give yourself?
Stay focused. Stay focused. It's so hard to lose focus. It's so hard to lose focus. If I would have been more focused in high school and within my collegiate career, I probably would already be an assistant principal.
Okay, now I have another question about your high school. You know how there's like a term this year's for seniors called like senioritis when they start. Was that like a thing back then too?
I'm a big procrastinator. I was a big procrastinator. You know, like thinking like, oh, I got time. You don't. You know, I learned that now as an adult. So I'm telling y'all now, don't wait till you're an adult to learn that, right? Senioritis is real. In college and in high school, and really in college, you're like, oh, I'm at the end so I could just kind of cruise. No, you can't cruise. You can't press cruise control, and either in high school or in college. I think the best thing for you to do is stay focused. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on the gas, because if you don't, any moment that you kind of like lack up, you kind of start to get in a routine, right? And that's bad. Stay focused.
Are there some ways that you dealt with senioritis or like that aspect of it during high school or the collegiate side?
I say taking that class face to face, my last year in college, that was horrible. I didn't want to get up. I'm still trying to be asleep, because you know when you in college, you can sleep all day if you ain't got no class. So I'm used to all my classes being online because it was COVID. I'm used to all my classes being online, and you talking about I gotta take this class in person? What? It was different. It was really different, and I had to really push myself. Like, okay, you at the end. Why would you not finish at the end? Because you don't want to go to school every day face to face. And like I said, when I got there, the class was really enjoyable. I learned stuff about math that I didn't even think that I would ever be able to grasp, but I was able to. And Dr. Hussein, he was a really good teacher. So if you go to PV, take him for business stats.
For the people out there like planning to go to college, like, what would you commend, like, going inside a class? Like, take good notes, or like where to sit, or like what to expect?
Sit in the front. Sit when you go to not just college, any school. Sit in the front. You want the teacher to know you there. You want to be seen, right? Because if you're struggling, the first thing they can say, well, I seen you been here, so maybe you're just not getting it. So let me help you, right? Sit in the front. Make sure if you don't understand something, ask. I don't care if the class be held up because you asking. Just ask. You need to speak up for yourself in college. Don't go to college and get an opportunity to be in a really good space and you drop the ball because you don't ask anybody for help. If you're struggling with anything, whether it be college life or whatever, ask. Ask for help. You can't get help if you don't open your mouth. You really got to ask. And sit in the front and be on time. Sit in the front and be on time. Don't be late.
Is there anything you value with the connections you have here with the students and the parents?
Yeah, I value it a lot because it's just like the students become a part of your village. The parents become a part of your village. Like, it don't matter where you at in life, everybody need a village. Even when y'all students, you hear the term, it takes a village to raise a child. When you have a career, it takes a village to keep it going. It's the same thing. It's no different. Just because we're in our careers, we learn every day. I learn new stuff every day. I just told you guys last night, I seen the TikTok that made me think different about our Dress for Success Wednesdays. Just last night. Not even 24 hours ago. So long as you're open to learning and stuff like that, you'll be okay. Like, you'll be okay as a teacher or anything that you do in your career. You just have to be open-minded to learn new things and really have a village that wants to be there for you. Have a village that has your best interest at heart. Somebody that's pouring into you constantly and shoot, and even telling you when you're wrong. Like, hey, you could have did that differently. And you have to be open to taking constructive criticism, especially in education, because there's no one way for one thing in education.
If you were able to like pursue any other career apart from education, like what would it be? It could be like anything.
Coaching. I think that's part of education, though. Yeah.
Like, would you say being a life coach?
Football coach.
Oh.
Okay.
I really like football, guys. It's bad. I watch it on my phone in the car. I walk around the store on my phone watching football. I really like football, and I like football because it seems like they're constantly having fun. Mm-hmm. And one thing for sure about football, if you be honest, football could teach you a lot of life lessons. One day you could be out there and you scoring and you one of the top players, and the next day ain't nobody calling your phone to put you on that team. Hopefully I get a chance to be a football coach one day. If not, that's fine.
So on that note of football, are there any like principles from football that you try to incorporate into your educational career or into your personal life?
Grit, grind, hard work, teamwork. If you go to my classroom right now, I got football fields put up. I got football fields put up in my classroom right now. I think football have a lot of good principles, and they really talk about hard work and talent. Basically, I have a student, and he even put the quote down, hard work beats talent when talent don't work, right? When you're working hard at something, people see you and you show up. Football is one of those sports where you have to have talent, and you have to have hard work, and you have to show up. You have to be persistent with it. And I think that in today's time, watching kids play football, I think one of the biggest things that I enjoyed seeing was going to watch Sock this last season play football at the AT&T Stadium, and just understanding where Sock is in Dallas, where it's at, where it's located. And those kids, they got football. Like, that may be the only thing that they have is football over there. So just to see how hard people work for something, that's different. And football players, if you don't know them, they work really hard. They do. They really do. They work really hard day in and day out.
So going back to high school, since you were a drum major, is there anything else that you would do in the band? Like, is there anything else you would pursue other than being a drum major?
Well, in order to be a drum major, you got to play an instrument. Between the instrument and the drum major, I can't go be no dancer. So that's pretty much it for me. I don't see myself ever being a band director. It takes patience, and those people that are band director, I give much kudos to Mr. Gibson and Mr. Ward, because it takes a lot. It really takes a lot. And being that Townview don't have sports, that is our sport here. It takes a lot for them. They have to be here. They have to give countless hours. They have to be a band director, a dad, a mentor, a coach. They have to be all those things in one, and that's a lot. And the bed here is not small. So you can just imagine how many come to Jesus moments Mr. Gibson have in his office.
Mentioning now that we don't have sports, well, I'm bringing it back to the plans for volleyball and basketball. Is there a possible way we could have like a tournament amongst like schools, like a branch of tournament, like bracket tournament?
Oh, so like it would lead up to the last.
I can't speak on that. I cannot give you that information. I can only talk about our school. I can't talk about any other school but SBM. And that's my honest answer. But I like where you're going, but I think you're going a little bit too broad.
I just feel like our school needs some type of sports.
We do have basketball club. But anyway, I wanted to ask a question to get know you more on a personal level. Do you have a favorite music genre, or like who's your favorite artist?
Oh, my favorite artist is Jeezy, Young Jeezy.
think isn't he like an up and coming? Not up and coming, but he's been
a rapper.
Yeah,
he has been a rapper. You know, and my favorite R&B artist is Beyonce. Y'all, I love me some Beyonce. Beyonce is a really good entertainer, but I like Jeezy because he's very diverse with his music. And if you really listen to his lyrics, he's really saying some good stuff. You just gotta listen to him. But yeah, Jeezy, Beyonce.
I had a quick question, like, about sports. Since you like football, who's your favorite college football team?
Right now, I'm gonna say the Colorado Buffaloes. Dion is doing his thing. He is doing his thing. He is calling people out, letting people know, like, I remember what you said. I got the receipts. Remember what you said. And I like their slogan right now. It's personal. You know, it's personal. You know, letting people know, like, you know, at first it was business, but now it's personal. I think Dion is doing a really good thing over at Colorado. He came to the SWAC at Jackson State University, and he turned their program around, and he's getting the opportunity to go and turn a program around up in Colorado. And I think that's different. I think it's good what he's doing to allow people of color to see that it's possible. You know, it's really possible. This guy has went from a SWAC, now he's up here at a predominantly white institution in Colorado, and they're doing good. And I'm not gonna even tell you a story. I didn't think they were gonna win that game against TCU because I had watched TCU last year and they were smoking. But now, I don't know. It's different, and it's good to see them watch because they playing with so much passion, and they playing with every time they get out there and they're playing. It's like they got something to prove every time because they're always the underdog. You know that Colorado had won one game last season, and right now they 3-0. That's crazy.
So I wanted to ask this very, very important question. How do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
Pineapple? I like it.
You see, it's good.
I like pineapple on pizza.
I've never tried it.
Yeah.
What's so good about it? I just like.
Well, I like pineapple on like pizza. So pineapple pizza, I like it.
They've been asking me to like just have like balance the flavors
No,
or like one
it just, I don't know. I like pineapple pizza. When I used to go to CC's as a kid, I used to always get that pineapple with the pizza on it, pineapple on pizza.
Y'all are crazy who don't like it.
Yeah.
I never tried it, so.
You should try it.
So we wanted to ask our last question. What are your future plans or goals that you have set for your time during the School of Business and Management? Just until, like, you know, you stop working here, but we would still want you to work here.
Right now we have the senior class. We have the senior class council, but I think that we should open it up to other grades as well. I'm trying to see if we can possibly have a student council with not just seniors, but with everybody. Because you don't want to wait until your senior year till you get a big opportunity to be in a leadership role. Because how do you know if you're really ready? How do you know? If you haven't been through any training over the last 3 years. So I'm looking into broaden the student council, and that's a conversation with Ms. West that I had to have and see, you know, what's her future for student council here and how impactful it can be, right? And just really get an opportunity to have SBM rise up on the national school list and which in the national school in Texas. You know, I'm hoping, and we'll get there. I want to be in the top 10. I really want us to be in the top 10 because what we do here is special. What we do here is special. Don't know other school do what we do. And we know that, right? I don't know no other school that has a radio show. Y'all know any other school that got a radio show? I don't know no other school that got a radio show. So what we do here is special, and we want to make sure that at some point the news channel is going to be here trying to figure out how we're doing it. I want it to be an opportunity where our teachers go out and train other students and other teachers at their schools and DISD schools to show them how to pilot these programs. Because what we're doing here is special, but we don't want to be stingy, right? We want to go out and help other people cultivate and develop in their programs and their CTE departments at their schools as well. Yeah. Oh, no. And this school year, I'm hoping that I win Teacher of the Year.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
you got it.
I'm letting all the teachers in SBM know, y'all better come with the heat, because I'm going to win Teacher of the Year.
Well, this wraps up the interview for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview. We are very honored to have our very special guest, Miss Goodson, and we hope to have you back towards the end of the year. Once again, thank you for listening. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social medias down below. I'm Art Lover.
I'm Dante.
I'm Cammie.
And I'm Chewy.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
My radio station.
We hope you enjoyed the great content and great discussion, all from a student's perspective. Make sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest updates at KSBM_TVT or on Facebook at KSBM Radio.
Add them on Facebook.
Check them on Facebook.
Take care.